I'm the founder of Health Girl, and we are, if you haven't seen what we do yet, Health Girl is an inclusive online health and wellness platform helping individuals just like you take control of your wellness in body and mind every day at your own pace, at every age and ability level. And mindset is one of the things that people don't really think about very much. And while, yes, I'm a certified personal trainer and I'm a certified yoga teacher and I have a whole bunch of like alphabet soup behind my name with all my certifications, more important than teaching you to lift heavy things or move your body, bend your body in different ways, I teach you how to master your mind, because mindset is everything. Your body can't do where what your mind doesn't tell it to do, and your life can't progress if your mind doesn't guide it. And the last 3 years have been hard. They've been very difficult. And so many people, my students, my coaching clients, random people on the internet message me. People stop me in the grocery store because they know what I do. And they tell me, like, I feel lost. I don't know what my new normal is supposed to be. And I get again and again, I feel stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck and I don't feel like I can get out. I don't know how to get out. And there's a really good saying that when a worm is stuck in horseradish, the whole world becomes horseradish. And that's what a lot of people are in right now, is we have hyper focused into the negative, the hardships that we faced. Everybody's had a hard time. And I want to definitely emphasize that. It's been very difficult, but a lot of people are just stuck in that. And it's almost like they have tunnel vision, trying to figure out what's wrong and how to fix it and focusing on those negatives. And maybe you can relate to this, but a lot of people also tell me, like, I know things are getting back to normal and I should be able to snap out of it. I don't know what's wrong with me. The fact is, there's nothing wrong with you. And we're going to talk about that today, which is why I wanted to come on here live. We can help ourselves to build resiliency. We can learn to change how we think so that we can go from feeling powerless when looking at this giant, unclimbable mountain of a problem in front of us to taking our power back and seeing it instead as a challenge that can be overcome, a puzzle that can be solved, a lesson that can be learned to empower us in the future. And by learning to do this, we can transform our lives. And I'm not saying that to be melodramatic. They've done studies. There's actually a study done a few years ago where they asked people if they thought stress was good for them or if it was bad for them. And for the people who answered, I think stress could be useful or good for us, they were less likely to die of any cause in the following years, no matter how much stress they had to face, compared to the people who thought that stress was bad for them, who were more likely to die of any cause in the following years, no matter how little stress they faced. So you can literally change, you can save your life by changing how you think. You can go from survival mode and just getting through things to thriving by changing your mindset. You want to do that? You ready to do that today? Okay, so let's get started. First, we're going to do a history lesson, but I want you to stay with me here because we're going to show you, I'm going to talk to you and tell you why. Hello, everyone who's joining. It's great to see you. Put a comment down below, say hello. It's great to see you. I'm going to talk to you about a little history lesson, and I'm going to tell you why you feel like you're stuck. Okay, it's going to tell you why you're actually normal when you get like this. So if we go back in history to our Paleolithic ancestors, sometimes we call them cavemen, cave women, cave people, I don't know, ancestors, whatever. If we go back 40,000 years in our past, we can see that those ancestors' lives were very hard, but in a much more simplistic way. And our early brains were focused on survival, and our stressors at that time had a very definitive beginning, middle, and end. Our brains evolved to survive this. So for example, say this ancestor of ours is walking through a field looking for food. And all of a sudden they see like a saber-toothed tiger just over there. This is the beginning of a stress response. You're like, yeah, no duh, right? When your ancestors saw that tiger, they would go into survival instincts. And this is what's really cool. Our brains evolved over time. This really cool thing, this really cool part of our brains, sometimes called the lizard brain. It's a very primal part of our brains called the amygdala. And it is responsible for our sympathetic or our fight or flight, which is actually more properly known as our fight, flight, freeze, and fawn response. is automatic and instantaneous. And I go into this a lot more detail in my anxiety courses, the workshops that I do, the classes that I teach. But basically, the brain instantly, in less than a blink of an eye, decides there's danger. We need to fight it. We need to run from it, or we need to freeze, right? Like a deer in headlights. Now, some of you are thinking, and I know this, I can hear what you're thinking. You're like, oh, well, what about Fawn? I want to make friends with the kitty. No, we do not make friends with the giant kitty with swords for teeth and murder mittens. Those people did not survive, okay? Theory of evolution, survival of the fittest. Those people did not survive. Do not pet the kitty with giant murder mittens, okay? So instantaneously, this ancestor of ours decides subconsciously to fight it, run from it, or freeze. This is the middle of that stress response. And the end of the stress response is going to come pretty quickly, right? You're either going to survive it or you're not. When they do survive, initially there's an adrenaline rush that goes, look how amazing and big and strong I am. I'm amazing, right? But pretty soon, when that adrenaline lowers, the brain is going to analyze everything that happened in that situation. And it's going to look at all of the negatives to figure out what went wrong and how it can prevent it in the future. Because maybe this ancestor ran and tripped over a rock. Well, we're not going to run that way next time. Maybe they ran and tried to climb a tree, but good old murder mittens climbed up the tree after it. It happens. Maybe they froze, but the tiger still saw them. Our brains have evolved to look at what went wrong so that they can avoid injury or worse later on. Our brains have evolved to look at what went wrong so that we can become more efficient and better, so that maybe next time the hunted becomes the hunter, right? So we've evolved to focus on the negative to avoid it in the future. So you see, there's nothing wrong with you. Your brain is doing exactly what it has evolved to do, right? However, when we bring ourselves 40,000 years to the present day, our concrete jungle looks a lot different from that actual wild place. We don't have saber-toothed tigers threatening us. We have kids who are stressed after 3 years of inconsistent education. We have a really weird, inconsistent commute. Sometimes we grab our coffee and we walk to the dining room. Sometimes we have to drive an hour to our workplace in the rain with people who don't know how to drive in the rain. And then we get random emails from our boss who still after 30 years has not figured out how to use an email, and it just says, we need to chat. All of these are stressors. But unlike in our ancestors' time, they don't always have a definitive beginning, middle, and end. The kids are going to be with you in your household for 18 or 20 years, and they're going to be with you throughout your life for a lifetime. And that's a good thing, but there is stress with that. Your commute and your boss, who is tech incompetent, is going to be with you until you don't have to pay your bills anymore, which is going to be a while. But the most important thing that we can get out of this is that our brains have not yet evolved to understand the difference between an actual physical threat to our health and safety and a perceived threat. And it treats it all the same. So that saber-toothed tiger is just as much of a danger to your brain as the weird email from your boss that might have just been sent before they could finish typing, or maybe they did actually mean to call you into their office to fire you. You don't know. And so these stressors are happening all of the time, and we have no control over it. Or do we? Now, we can't turn off our amygdala. We cannot turn off that lizard primal part of our brains, and you don't want to. We need to be able to have this sympathetic nervous system. It's essential for so many different things. But we can change how we respond to it once it gets going. And we see this all the time. Military and first responders have been trained to override that fight or flight response to run into danger to get a job done, despite the fact that it's dangerous and their brains are like, excuse me, not cool. They do it anyway. And thank you for that, for all of you who do that, right? We also know that we can change our sympathetic and its opposite, the parasympathetic nervous system's responses. We can slow down that fight or flight, and we can raise the parasympathetic nervous system's response, which is our rest and digest, and it's operated by the hippocampus. We do this by stopping or slowing down. But we live in a productivity culture, don't we? We live in a hustle culture where we are told that our worth and our value is defined by how much we produce. And so we are told, if you have a job, get a second one, get a side hustle. start a business, join the PTA, do all of the things, do more, do better, do faster. And so we've disconnected that stop button almost entirely, haven't we? Hi to everyone who's joined recently. And that pause button, I don't know, maybe it's in a dusty corner in my cabinet. I don't know, but I haven't seen it in a while. So how do we fix that? We breathe. And you're like, I'm breathing. See, look it. And I'm like, dude, that's great. Keep doing that. Please don't stop breathing. That's excellent. Keep breathing. But have you stopped to think about how you breathe lately? And especially if you're over 30, this might hit a nerve. Were you ever told, suck it in, squeeze it in, think thin, stand tall, stick out your chest, stand like a man, sit like a lady? What this does is it actually teaches us to squeeze our abdominal muscles and engage and brace ourselves against a possible threat. And so what happens is we can't breathe. If you're on Facebook, you can't see further down. But we've learned to not breathe down into our lower ribs or into our abdomens. We're breathing up high into our high heart. And now this is not a bad thing necessarily to breathe into that high chest space, but we do it almost all of the time, and we do it pretty unconsciously. But if we're doing this, what does that look like? Have you ever seen a toddler in the middle of like an epic meltdown when they are so far beyond reason and rationality that they're like high chest breathing, right? Fast, short, sharp breaths. Have you ever been startled by something? What do? Right? It's that short, sharp inhalation of breath. And now we're not doing that like constant, like near hyperventilation all of the time, but we're breathing in a similar fashion. And when maybe we do get a little stressed, we breathe a little more quickly, which mimics that stress response. And so the brain, again, not knowing that your boss being a jerk is not the same as a saber-toothed tiger ready to eat you, gets that stress response going. And so just by breathing, you can bring that stress response up into your body. So let's do a little experiment here. If you're watching this, wherever you are, if you're able to sit nice and tall, relax your shoulders. We're not sitting rigidly. If you can, place your feet flat on the ground. If you're standing, feet are about hip width apart, relax your shoulders. And look, we're all friends here. Relax your abdominal muscles. Let it all hang out. We say like embrace the happy Buddha belly, right? So what we'll do here is we're going to inhale through the nostrils for a count of 4. And we're going to exhale through the mouth for a count of 4. Sound good? We're going to do this for a few rounds, okay? Not too long. So you ready? So relax your shoulders, relax your jaws, and relax your abdomen. Let's inhale through the nose. In, 2, 3, 4. Out through the mouth. Out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. And out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. One more time. In, 2, 3, 4. And out, 2, 3, 4. Good. Now go back to your normal breathing. How are you feeling? A little calmer, a little more relaxed, alert, but not elevated. You feel present, don't you? Why is that? Your breath keeps you in this moment. You can't breathe anywhere but the present moment. You can't breathe from your memories. You can't breathe forward into your dreams. You have to breathe in this moment. If you're an A+ science fair student, you could try this, but inhale for 4 and exhale for a count of 6. That actually activates your parasympathetic nervous system even more. It helps you relax even more. Hello to everyone else who's joined lately. You can do this anytime, anywhere. It's free and it's safe for everybody. An even steady count in, an even steady count out, or again, just a slightly extended exhale is safe for everybody as long as you're doing it comfortably and you're not forcing yourself. You can do this when your kids are pecking at you because you know they're stressed or they're having a bad day. You can do this in your infuriating commute to work. You can do this when you get that random email from your tech silly boss. You can do this in the grocery store when you can't find the dang chips. What is up with that? Why do they keep moving stuff around the grocery stores? I don't know what's going on. This helps to calm you. This helps to ground you in the present moment. It helps to pause that fight or flight. It's free. And the more you practice this, the more you'll remember to practice this. The more when you get stressed, you'll remember to practice this. And now, again, I teach this in my workshops and my courses. When you are in the middle of a stressful event, you will probably not remember to do this. So I don't want you to give yourself grief when later on you're like, oh, poop, I forgot. That's okay. That's normal. Right? Again, you go into that fight and flight, you're instinctive. Right? So when we breathe, we slow down. We calm, we become more present. So the more you practice that, eventually, when you've had a stressful event, afterwards you're like, oh, I forgot to breathe. That's okay. You breathe when you remember, and that helps you bring you down. So now we've paused. We've breathed. We've given ourselves some oxygen. We've slowed down that stress response. Now what do? We understand that everything is figure-outable. Nelson Mandela said, I never lose. I either win or learn. So good. Why is that so powerful? I will tell you. Because when you are in a stress event, you're stressed because you feel out of control. And in the last 3 years, how fully in control have you felt of all of the things at all times? I'll wait. Right? So when we look at something as a win or a lesson, it helps us to take us out of that helpless feeling. It helps to take the power back within ourselves. Hello to all of you who've joined lately. And it helps us to go from, I can't climb this impossible mountain of a problem, to, well, I didn't ask to be in front of this mountain, and I'm not happy that I'm in front of this mountain, but maybe there's a way around it. Look, if I look over here, there's some trees. Maybe if I get an axe, maybe I could like cut a path around it. Maybe I could dig my way through it. If you're an A+ science fair student, maybe you build something to fly over it. Maybe I learned something about myself along the way. Oh, things are always going to happen that are outside of our control. I wish I could say, hey, you change your mindset and everything's amazing. You're healed. That's not how it works. We're going to have things that are out of our control. We're going to have accidents or job loss or life-changing diagnoses. But when we're in those situations where we're like, I can't win, but can you learn? And it's different from saying everything happens for a reason, because even then that's still out of our control, right? But when we say, what can I learn from this? You take your power back. We have millennia of evolution. We used to cut our fingers and die from infection. We used to squat in the dirt and give birth. And yet now, we carry all of the knowledge that has ever existed in the world in our pockets, in our phones. What did our Paleolithic ancestors have that we don't? Nothing. They were able to survive in terrible circumstances. Let's be honest. If we were dropped off in those times, most of us wouldn't last a day. We've evolved so much to this point. We've changed. If they can survive, surely we can find something to learn. You can find ways to shift your mindset so that you can thrive. It's up to you. You're really that powerful. All of that power is within you. You can choose whether or not you use it. That is also within your power. How does it feel to know that you're that powerful, that you have that power right in you at all times? Pretty good, huh? Makes you want to sit up a little straighter, stand a little taller, maybe put your hands on your hips. This is what's called a power pose. And it has been scientifically proven to boost your mood, boost your confidence, and boost your testosterone in as little as 30 seconds. Now, no, you are not going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger if you stand like this all day. Ladies, gentlemen, it's not going to happen. But it helps you to feel better. It helps to boost your mood, boost your confidence. It's like the Wonder Woman pose or the Superman pose, right? If you're standing, your feet are planted. You're not rigid in your posture. You're comfortable. You're confident. You got this, right? For my A+ science fair folks, you're going to do this in front of a mirror for 30 seconds and repeat a mantra or something that makes you feel good about yourself. That improves it even more. If you're an SNL fan, Stuart Smalley, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. Right? But as you feel more powerful, as you start to feel more in control of your mind and feel good about yourself, you're going to want to keep that going, right? That's only natural. If we feel good, we want to keep going. So how do we do this? Self-care. Don't roll your eyes. I could see you roll your eyes. Don't do that. We know that self-care is a vital part of allowing our parasympathetic nervous system to raise, to activate, to give us that rest and get out of that fight or flight, that sympathetic nervous system. Every time you do something good for yourself, it's like giving yourself a little present. You feel better about yourself. And you're telling yourself, right, consciously or subconsciously, out loud or in your mind, that you are worth taking care of and you're worth it, right? It helps boost your mood, which makes you it makes you feel better, which makes you want to keep going. You want to keep taking good care of yourself. It's a great cycle to be in. And I know some of you are thinking, Megan, I don't have the time for self-care. I am too busy. I cannot sit still to meditate, and I hate yoga, and which that hurts my feelings, but that's okay. We can still be friends, I promise, okay? A lot of times we think we can't do self-care because it takes too much time or money or effort. And this is our conditioning from our hustle culture to tell us that if we aren't producing, if we slow down, we aren't good enough. We're going to fall behind. And this is garbage, okay? If I could swear, I probably would, but that would get me taken down. I don't want to do that. We are told that self-care has to be expensive, that it has to be full of effort, that we have to earn it, that it's selfish, that it's self-absorbed. We're shown images of luxurious bubble baths in houses that we will probably never be able to afford to stand in, let alone live in. And then these giant chocolate cakes that are so decadent. I don't know where they got those chocolate cakes or those advertisements, but I would like one of those, right? More damagingly, we're often shown images of detoxes and juice cleanses. You don't need those. Stay away from that, okay? Now, if bubble baths and chocolate cake are within your wheelhouse to provide yourself and you're like, yes, I love this. Sure, okay, go ahead. But when I teach my classes, my courses, when I coach my coaching clients, the biggest things I tell them is that it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be full of effort. It can be much simpler, much more profound, and often it's free. We can find ways to help ourselves in even small ways. And I call this my little big things, such as, did you brush your teeth today? Self-care. Take a shower? Self-care. Have you had one glass of water? People, please drink your water. Have you had one dang glass of water? Self-care. One veggie? Self-care. Take a walk. Talk with a friend. Do something nice for someone else that also gives you that nice warm glow in your heart. Self-care. All of these things are self-care. So put your hand up if, when we look at it this way, you're like, oh yeah, I took care of myself today. I hope you put your hand up. I want you brushing your teeth. That's important. Hello, it's great to see everyone who's joining now. So when we look at it this way, we can see how the effects of self-care can help improve our lives. And when we see that self-care improves our lives, we change our perspective on that. It's how you perceive things that matter. You take your power back when you see that you can change your perspectives. You can switch your mindset from that instinctive fight or flight to that, that fight or flight that always wants to learn from those negative things, to look at ways that you can win or learn. To understand that everything is figure outable, that you can get out of that horseradish. When you see that self-care is helping you, you see how your mindset changes at the thought of it. You can be more understanding that in different circumstances and in different seasons of your life, self-care is going to look very different, right? It's like a triangle where one side is self-care, one side is family and relationships, another side is like work and obligations. And sometimes work and obligations and family and your relationships are going to take more time. So you don't have as much time for self-care. So that's okay, but you go with your basics, like you brush your teeth and you take a shower. Sometimes when things aren't as busy with everything else, you're able to do more in terms of your self-care. Maybe try something you haven't done before, add more of something you really love. And that's okay. You're okay with that and you're nice to yourself about that. Really good example. The last couple of months, I've been getting ready for this business expo that happened last week. And I've been prepping this course, the Breath of Fresh Air course that is now launched and we're in our early bird special, which only lasts until Saturday, May 6th. You have to purchase before Saturday, May 6th to get the early bird bonuses. It's a beautiful 8-week course. It is full of pre-recorded videos and all this information. And I've been working so hard and I wanted to have it ready to launch for our business expo. And I wanted to be able to do this for you guys and do this talk again. This is the talk that I did at the business expo. I wanted to be able to do this for you guys. I have been working so hard and it's been go time the last couple of weeks. Sleep has been non-existent, right? Pretty much. My self-care has gone to that base level of like brush my teeth, drink my water, take a shower, eat my veggies. I'm not exercising as much, but hey, I also have a 6-month-old puppy who's a Boston Terrier who is an absolute terror and black hole when it comes to time management, right? And I try my best, but like, man, she is like a lot of effort. And I'm not exercising as much as I'd like to, but I take her for walks a couple times a day. So I'm still getting some fresh air and move my body. Also, it keeps her from chewing my cupboards, which is great. But I know that when this pre-launch is done, now that the business expo is done and the pre-launch, once the pre-launch for the course is done and we're into the regular sales of the course, that you'll still be able to purchase it after May 6th, but you won't get all the bonuses, which I mean, it's not as good as, you know, you want to get the bonuses right on healthgirl.ca. You can see the link on my live chat on Facebook. And if you go to my link in bio on Instagram, you can see that. But I know that next week when things settle down a little bit, I'll have more time and I will get back into my more deliberate routine of, you know, getting more sleep for sure. First thing, I will be exercising more deliberately for myself and the routines that I like to do for myself. I will be doing more of my self-care. I'll be prepping my meals and making them look prettier instead of just like, what veggies can I throw together, right? That's okay. I'll get back to my full routine. It's fine. You need to realize that self-care is not selfish. Your health and well-being are essential. You need to understand that self-care is putting yourself first. It's not putting yourself only. It means shifting your mindset to understand that self-care means that you have the health and wellness to give your family, your work, your friends, your hobby, yourself, the best of you, not whatever's left of you. It means shifting your mindset to understand that setting boundaries to take care of yourself allows you to keep more of what you love in your life and keep out of your life what isn't helping you. It means giving yourself the kindness and compassion that you give others, but allowing yourself to have that as well. It means you see and know and live in your inherent value, your inherent power, your inherent worthiness, because you are worthy, just as you are. It means you have the power to remember that it is about the journey, not the destination. It's about taking that trip and finding out about yourself the whole time, because you're worth getting to know. It means you can take a step back, you can take a deep breath, and you can find that pause to get out of the fight or flight. It means you can relax and be happy and live in the power that you inherently have and live in your worth, because you're worthy just as you are. You'll have your mood boosted and your mindset in a place of winning or learning. It means you understand that everything is figure outable. And it means that you're out of that horseradish. You deserve that. 100%. You deserve that. So allow yourself to shift that mindset, to put yourself first, but not only, to give yourself that self-care. I hope you found this informative. I hope you found this interesting, and I hope you found it helpful for yourself. I'm always here. If you have questions or comments, you can send me a comment, you can send me a direct message, you can send me an email at info@healthgirl.ca. I hope you'll check out our website, healthgirl.ca. We have great things on our blog. We also have, like I said, the Anytime Studio. We have courses and workshops. The Anytime Studio has a 7-day free trial for unlimited access to all of our different yoga videos and fitness and mindfulness and meditation, all these different things for you. In the palms of your hands. Anywhere you have internet, you have the Anytime Studio. We have so many great courses and workshops. I really hope you'll check that out. And whether you're a student of mine, whether you're a coaching client of mine, because I do personal coaching, and I just had one spot open up in my personalized life coaching. So that'll be gone quickly if you don't get in on that. If you wanted that, you need to sign up for that right away. But whether you're a student of mine or not, whether you pay me or not, I'm here for you, because it is about community. It is about taking care of yourself and having people to cheer you on, right? So if you have questions, send me a message, right? Make sure you like and follow the page, Health Girl Canada on Facebook, because I'm here for you. I care about you. I want you to be healthy and happy at every stage of your life. I don't care what you look like. It's not about a size. It's not about a number on a scale or a number on your pants. It's about being happy in yourself and taking that power back for yourself every single day, because you're worth that. So I'm going to let you go. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I do hope you'll check out the website. Like I said, the link is in the chat here for the live video. It's also pinned on the Facebook page and in the link in my bio in the Instagram page. And you can see it when you go to healthgirl.ca. It's on the front page. It's also on the store. Check that out. If you have questions, let me know. But it is going to be like super epic. And it's been 8 months in the making for this course. So I'm really excited. But take care of yourself. You're worth it. Take a step back, take a deep breath. You're worth getting out of that horseradish. Everything is figure outable, my friend. Have a great rest of your day. Take good care.